Good morning, good morning. Okay, so today we're going to talk about my teaching style. I believe the golf swing and all golf training is like peeling an onion. Like, what are you talking about, Jay? Peeling an onion? Well, the truth is, the golf swing it's layered, it's nuanced. It's honestly something that probably takes a lifetime to perfect. And most people, they think, they see it on TV, they don't realize that these guys have been doing this pretty much their whole life. And so they come out, they're like, well, that looks easy. I could do that. Not understanding that these people have taken hundreds, if not thousands of lessons. They've probably put 10 to 20,000 hours of practice into their game. And they don't take days off. And I know that seems weird, but this is kind of one of those games that when you start taking time away from it, you get rusty pretty quick. And so that's where I come up with the analogy. Golf is very much like peeling an onion. You ever noticed how when you chop an onion, you start crying? It's like you go right to the center of it and all of its defenses go up. Well, in my mind, that's how I see the golf swing. That's how I actually see all golfing instruction whatsoever, all golfing skill development. It's an onion. But have you ever peeled an onion with just your fingers, layer by layer? What's really interesting if you do, although your fingers might get a little tinge to them, your eyes don't water. And I know that's probably a silly way to explain the golf swing, but that's really how it works. If you can approach the golf swing in phases, taking baby steps as you go along, you're going to improve a whole lot faster than if you try to go straight to the center of the onion and take on its defenses. Because truth be told, there really is no secret to this game, but there are gates that we must go through, and step by step, you unravel secrets within those gates. And the beauty of this game is, if you go through these gates properly, one at a time, in a linear fashion, and you don't try to cut right to the center of the onion, and you peel it back slowly, it becomes a far more enjoyable experience because every skill set gives you a carrot. It's like, hey, now you can do this. Now it's time to start this. And so you never go through frustrations. It's always, hey, I'm working on this thing, and I know when I figure it out, I will be able to work on the next thing. Okay, Jay, I buy that. I like your analogy. That's fun. But you probably want to know what the steps are, right? Everybody wants the roadmap. So if you're going to peel an onion back layer by layer to develop skill sets, since we're going to use the onion analogy, what would probably be the best way to go about that? Well, from a golf perspective, there's a lot of ways to go about it. For me, I believe that you have to learn from the grip out. So think of the grip as the outer layer of our onion, and we're going to think of basically the shallowing and impact as the inner layer of the onion. So once we get the grip right, we get the posture right, get the stance, the alignment, the waggle, all of these little fundamental things, we've basically peeled back that first layer of the onion. But if we don't get all those things right, when we go to peel back that first layer of the onion, it tears, it rips. And then the defenses come out, and you start hitting bad shots, and you don't understand why. And the key with this game is you have to be a scientist, guys. You have to understand the whys and the hows in order to move through each layer of the onion. So hopefully now you can visualize the process we are going to take as a team. You've joined my golf academy, essentially. That's how I'm envisioning this YouTube channel. So let's talk about each layer of the onion so that you will know exactly where you're at in the process, and you'll understand, so you can keep stepping forward, feeling good about yourself, instead of feeling like crap chasing snake oil salesmen across YouTube. First layer of the onion is the grip. The grip constitutes a number of things, and within that layer, there are multiple layers within it, such as how do we hold the left hand? How do we hold the right hand? What pressures do we use? Until we get to a point where, essentially, we learn how to lock the thumbs together and do all those things that I've taught you in my other videos that lead to a proper waggle of the golf club. That's the first layer of the onion. Once we have a waggle, now we can learn how to properly align to a target, how to properly set our ball position based on our low point, because we've learned how to preset impact using the waggle, like so. From there, the next major layer after we get the waggle, which is probably the second layer, will be ball position and stance and posture. All these things about getting into an athletic position so that you can swing on the same plane over and over and over. And so that would be probably the third layer, right? The swing plane, which we've talked about that, the backswing plane, the plane of glass that Hogan speaks of. And then the transition, that would be the next layer, which I've made a video about that. Then from there, we have the downswing, impact, and post-impact, which are the rest of the layers of the swing. Once we get to that point, we are now at the center of the onion. And this is where we can begin chopping it and dicing it. We can start changing the pressures in our fingers, the ground pressures, the way that we torque the ground, torque our body, which you've seen those videos. So when you're going back through my videos, I want you to pay very close attention to how I have organized them. Within each layer, there are phases that we must follow to prevent club face closure or unnecessary opening, too much essentially hand action and timing, so that we can have a golf swing that's based on physics and geometry and biomechanics, so that it's there every day of the week. All right, so you've got your roadmap. You kind of know where you're going to end up, but what do we need when we're driving along the road or when we're peeling back layers of things? We'll even use the Russian doll analogy. Once we get to the final Russian doll, how are we going to know it? How do we know we've reached the end of our destination? Well, the truth is that'll be up to you. Each one of us has an idea of how well they believe they can play the game. And your homework going forward is to set the end destination on your roadmap, because I can't do that for you. That's something you're going to have to do yourself. So if you want to be a master ball striker, you're going to have to realize it's going to take a little bit of work. But if you're okay just breaking 90, you may not need to go all the way to the center of the onion. But if you want a fun journey, you should try this, because once you come out on the other side, you don't cry anymore. There's no more defenses to stop you.